Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday celebration of Unity of Reading. If you're moved by this message or any of the Unity teachings, I encourage you to send a donation to Unity of Reading, 4443 10th Avenue in Temple, so that we can continue our mission to inspire everyone to live their best lives possible. Also, we do have some daily words available. If you would like a daily word sent to you, please send an email to unityofreadingpa@gmail.com, and we will get that sent off. Today's daily word is love. I'm a loving presence to everyone I meet. It has been said that the world needs more love. The truth is that all the love the world could ever need is already present everywhere, because God is love and God is present everywhere. Created in God's image, I am divine love in human expression. I know that love is much more than a positive feeling. Divine love is the energy of oneness itself. As I remain centered in divine love, I know oneness in God with all people, including those who are dear to me and those I've never met. Divine love helps me see good everywhere and in everyone. I look beyond conflict and limitation and find the good that is always mine to discover. And from 1 John 4:7, Beloved, let us love one another, because love is from God. Everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. So today is May 31st, the last day of May already. My daughter and I had a discussion the other day, and she said, you know what, Mom, you should do a message on this, and I agreed. So I thanked my daughter, Randy, for the message suggestion, and I'll also add, if anyone would like to hear more about a certain thing or have clarification on any of the Unity teachings, please send us message ideas to unityofreadingpa@gmail.com, and I'll address those requests. So when I spoke with my daughter, she said, Mom, I'm so tired of hearing everyone's whining regarding the current situation. Everyone has a different opinion, and they're all based on what ifs and could haves. So I'm sure if you give it some thought, you probably are hearing the same thing. And maybe if you really give it some thought, you might even be one who is saying the same thing. What is interesting, most of the discussion is not moving us forward, but focused on the past. We have the camp that says we did too much. The other camp that says we did too little. One camp says we didn't do it soon enough, and the other says we did it too long. There's a quote that also says hindsight is 20/20, but that is not necessarily true, because what is extremely interesting is that everyone has facts to back up their opinion, and everyone is correct. How can that even be possible? I saw this great post on Facebook a few weeks back that went, "Don't stress the could haves. If it should have, it would have." I believe this quote is one of the simplest quotes to explain divine order. Last week I spoke of our mind wandering 47% of the time, and that we function from our subconscious about 95% of the time. So let me ask you this. How much of your time is spent with your mind wandering to the only if or the could haves? Much of our media, talk shows, and our own social discussions currently focus on the what ifs. It focused on who did what, when, and what could have done better. Many times this involves blame games. Who was the one that made the wrong decision? Let us face it, we do this all the time, and it's because we believe that something terribly went wrong. But I ask you to consider this one. With divine order, can anything ever be wrong at all? The Bible even states, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. So today I want to address a few things to examine what we see, to understand ourselves a little better, to know why we see the way we do, where are we looking, and how can we change? We know that we can only make changes by changing ourselves. First, I want to address why it appears that everyone is correct, even though they have different opinions. There's so much information out there from so many sources. If you take time and look, there are beliefs on just about everything from every angle. Last week, I talked about some of the annoying features of our brains. One that you can add is called confirmation bias. Confirmation bias happens because our brains proactively seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs. And yes, we're doing that all the time. We form our own opinion or accept information from others that we trust, including trusted news sources, and then we actively look for more information to back that up. We do this subconsciously, so don't beat yourself up about it. We all do it. Let's face it, we all want to be right. In 2009, a study at Ohio State showed that we will spend much more time on reading an article if it aligns with our own opinions. One researcher explained, whenever our opinions or beliefs are so intertwined with our self-image, we couldn't pull them away without damaging our core concepts of self. So we avoid the situation which may cause harm to those beliefs. So bottom line is, whatever you believe, if you can't open your mind consciously to other ways of looking at it, you can always find information to say, see, I told you so, and you would be right. Being stuck in our own opinions brings us to another annoying feature of our brains called the sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy plays on our tendency that we emphasize loss over gain, meaning that our brains are wired to feel loss much more strongly and emotionally than gain. This in turn leads us to miss or ignore the logical features presented to us, and instead we make irrational decisions based on our emotions, without even realizing that we're doing so. As researchers put this one, the fallacy prevents you from realizing the best choice is to do whatever promises the best experience in the future, not which negates the feelings of loss in the past. Many have experienced loss of some sort currently, from financial to relationship losses. Focusing on the losses, we want to find blame of some sort, and there is always something or someone to blame when we look for it. Remember the lessons regarding making judgments from last week. One of the big questions to ask yourself, is my being right helping me or hurting me? Is my confirmation bias and being caught up in the sunk cost fallacy preventing me from knowing the truth or at least seeing things from a different perspective? Could somebody else's opinion be right? Is my focus preventing me from moving forward and experiencing the life that God wants for me, life more abundantly? Now let us address in what direction we're looking. The Bible is filled with warnings regarding focusing on the past, focusing on the what-ifs and the could-haves. I believe one of the most potent stories is that of Lot and his wife fleeing. They were instructed not to look back, and of course, Lot's wife fell into the temptation to look back, to focus on the past, and she turned into a pillar of salt. We know that the Bible was written metaphysically and not literally, so she didn't literally turn into a pillar of salt. Salt at that time was used as a preservative. So what this is telling us, by focusing on the past, we live in the past over and over and over again. We cannot move forward by looking back. Can you imagine the number of accidents if everyone would drive a car forward by only looking in the rearview mirror? Buddha stated, if you want to know the past, look at your present. If you want to know the future, look at your present. By looking at and dwelling on the past, we preserve our past. We live the same thing in the present, and we project it into our future. I truly do not think that any of us want that for ourselves. The Bible also states, remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Wow, what a great line. The universe is presenting us with a new beginning each and every day. Do we not perceive it? Isn't it time to stop looking at the past, to stop dwelling on the what-ifs and the could-haves, and just trust in the present and the future? Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. When we speak of 20/20 vision, we think of perfect eyesight. But there's much more to vision than what our physical eyes can take in. One of the main things that sets humans apart from any other creature is the power of imagination, our open-ended ability to imagine and reflect on different situations. The dictionary defines imagination as the faculty or action of forming new ideas or images or concepts of external objects not present to the senses, the ability of the mind to be creative and to be resourceful. Whatever we think about produces pictures in our mind. When we focus on the past, we present pictures of the past in our minds. When we focus on what is wrong, we produce pictures of things that we do not want to happen. The pictures we constantly present in our mind can be thought of as prayers for our future. For what we focus on, we see more of, and what we focus on grows. I think one thing we can all agree on is we certainly do not want to preserve the current situation in our present or in our future. If you remember in Genesis, Abram was told, "Lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward, for all the land that you see I will give to you and to your offspring forever." The meaning of this is, do not dwell on the past or how things appear now, but look forward, and everything you can see or imagine will be given to us. There was a great quote by Napoleon Hill from his book, Think and Grow Rich. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Albert Einstein also said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Remember, for as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. This is not the time to find blame and focus on the what-ifs. Remember, if it should have, it would have. All is in divine order. Now is the time to lift our eyes and our minds up to how we want things to be, to new possibilities and to greater things. Now is the time to focus on the promises of God, to focus on life that is abundant in all areas. There has been an old saying, I will believe it when I see it. And now we know that that's all backward. The truth is, I will see it when I believe it. For Jesus even told us, all things are possible for one who believes. Research has shown that there are strong scientific basis for how and why visualization works. It is a well-known fact that we stimulate the same brain regions when we visualize an action as when we actually perform that same action. Brain studies now reveal also that thoughts produce the same mental instructions as actions. Mental imagery impacts many cognitive processes in the brain: motor control, attention, perception, planning, and memory. So the brain is getting trained for actual performance during visualization. It has been found that mental practices can enhance motivation, increase confidence and self-efficiency, improve motor performance. It actually primes your brain for success, and it increases states of flow. These are all relevant to achieve your best life ever. The Bible tells us, set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flows the springs of life. For nothing will be impossible with God. How do you want things to be in the future? How far can you see? The root word of desire means of the Father. Any heartfelt desire is God-given. What can your mind conceive? And can you begin to believe it through visualization, feeling as if it had already happened? Jesus told us, when you pray, believe that it is yours, and you will have it. What you see in your mind with great clarity and emotion, you will experience in the physical. Make sure that you're seeing what you want to experience. Start today changing your thoughts and focus on how wonderful today and tomorrow can be. Stop looking back and focusing on what the what-ifs and could-haves. Stop looking where to place blame. Remember, we build all our tomorrows by the thoughts that we hold today. See the beauty of today. Know that there is divine order in everything. Therefore, if anyone lives his Christ nature, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. Jesus stated, no man who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. The kingdom of heaven is not found by regretting or brooding over the past or placing blame. The kingdom of God is here and now. It is living life abundantly. It is experience heaven on earth now. Begin by establishing or reigniting a heartfelt desire. How do you want life to be? Imagine the future. You do not have to know how this is going to be achieved. You leave the how to the wisdom of the universe, for God has ways that we would never even think of. All you need to believe is that the seemingly impossible is possible. Jesus taught us, with man it is impossible, but not with God, for all things are possible with God. Hold the picture in your mind as if it had already been achieved, as you had already achieved your goal. Hold a mental picture of it as occurring to you right at this moment. Imagine the scene in as much detail as possible. Engage as many of your five senses as you can in this visualization. Who are you with? What emotions are you feeling right now? Get into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. What are you wearing? Is there a smell in the air? What do you hear? What is your environment? Practice every night and every morning just before and after sleep. Eliminate any doubts as they come to you. Repeat this often. Combine this with an affirmation that clicks with you, one that your mind can accept and feel is real. Buddha taught, within this moment, the only moment that exists, the past, the present, and the future are contained. See the future today the way you want it to be. Live it today, and you will experience it tomorrow. As the Bible teaches, so put away all malice and all deceit and hypocrisy and envy and all slander. Like newborn infants, long for the pure spiritual milk, that by it you may grow up into salvation. Forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward. That the Father of glory may give you a spirit of wisdom and of revelation in the knowledge of Him, having the eyes of your heart enlightened, that you may know what is the hope to which He has called you, what are the riches of His glorious inheritance in the saints. Know that you are heir to all of God's inheritance. Claim it today, see it, live it, know and have the feeling that you already are living it. Live the abundant life which has been promised you. You deserve it, for you are awesome, and so it is. I'd like to take these thoughts into meditation. I'd like you to get into a comfortable position, whether you're sitting or lying down. Bring your awareness to your breathing. Take a few slow, deep breaths, allowing your entire body to calm down. Relax deeper with each exhale. Feel your body become full of ease and completely comfortable. When you're ready, you can close your eyes. At any time during this meditation, if you need to adjust your position or change your position, feel free to help yourself become more comfortable. When your body is at ease, then your mind can much more easily be at ease as well. Just take time and enjoy for the moment how everything right now is peaceful. Know that divine order is working. You are still, you are quiet. And even if there are noises in your environment, you can still be quiet within. All of the tasks, the goals, and the projects you can pick up after this meditation. Right now, there's nothing for you to do, nowhere to go. You just need to be here, right now, in this moment. I invite you to imagine that you're standing in a meadow on a hillside. The gentle slopes of the hillside surround you, and above you is a beautiful, crisp blue sky. It's a lovely sunny day, and you're going on a walk through this meadow. As you walk, you notice the details on the pathway, the pebbles, the stones, the grass, and the moss, all under your feet as you walk forwards. You observe the trees along your path, and you notice that the trees, the branches, the leaves, you notice what they look like. You notice them swaying gently in the breeze. You feel very observant. Every aspect of this meadow seems alive to you, and it feels good to be walking along this path. You feel content and joyful on this path. As you walk along this meandering path, you notice that there's a small bridge coming up ahead of you. You walk towards that bridge, and once you arrive at the bridge, you see the trickling water below. You hear the small stream making gurgling sounds. You stand there for a minute and watch as the water flows below, always moving forward. You know that this stream flows into a pond, so you go off the path and you start walking beside the stream, going downwards, going downhill. And alongside the stream, there's a tiny dirt path on which you walk, parallel to the stream, watching how the water twists and turns around the rocks. It is beautiful. The water is crisp, fresh water flowing downward. Soon you notice where the stream meets the pond. You speed up your steps to find a spot to sit down, right at the pond. You see the stillness of the pond. The water is completely still, reflecting the sky and the trees around you. This, of course, is a magical pond. A pond that can show you what you visualize. So now you look at the pond, at the surface of the water, crystal clear, reflecting the sky, and you visualize what your dream life, what your future will be like. So now take a deep breath and begin reviewing all aspects of your life. On the surface of the pond, you can see yourself, visualize your healthy body. You see yourself eating healthy, moving your body, taking care of your body, and you feel the emotion and how great it feels to be so healthy. And you sit with that emotional feeling, knowing that you're already healthy, and it feels so good. You visualize a healthy, calm mind. On the pond's surface, you can see how you are meditating. You can see the calmness of your body and the calmness of your mind. You can see yourself feeding your mind all good thoughts, good ideas, and helping it to build its calm and strong state. You feel the emotion of calmness. It feels so good. You see yourself with happy, healthy relationships, having deep, joyful moments with friends, family, colleagues, and loved ones. In the mirror that is now the pond, in the mirror that is the pond surface, you see yourself connecting with all beings, with the animals in your life. You see that yourself taking care of them, protecting them, admiring their beauty, and admiring their wild nature. Feel the feelings of this love and relationship in your body. You also see the various aspects of your career, of your business, booming beautifully. You see yourself committed, persevering, continuously making good and meaningful effort. Your work life is a balance to the way you like it. You are creating in order to help people. Feel the feelings of fulfillment in your work. See the smiles on the faces of your customers. Hear the great comments. Really feel those feelings as if you're already there. You also see your finances in good health, well taken care of, giving you the ability to take care of yourself. your loved ones, and all the important, meaningful causes that you want to support. You feel incredibly prosperous. This is a vibration you may not have felt before, but you know that all is well. You know that whatever you need is taken care of. Hold on to those feelings, to that emotion. You see yourself in a beautiful, cozy home, in a home filled with love, with calm and peace. You visualize all these different aspects of your life and you see it manifesting. You see it coming into reality, and you know that it's already done. This is your dream life. If you can visualize it, if you can feel it, if you can know that it already is, you can manifest it into reality. And now the surface of the pond changes and slowly reflects the sky and the trees again. You take a deep breath, and you make your way back up the path. The path going along the stream, coming up to the bridge, walking across the bridge and back into the meadow. You stand there in the meadow. You look around you and you take one glance at the sky, the big blue sky, and know that the infinity of the sky represents the infinity of possibility in your life. As you take this time to feel this calmness, this emotional feeling of already achieved your dream life, sink this feeling into every cell of your body. Anchor it into your mind, to your heart, and your soul. Know that you can always revisit this pond to reconnect with your dream life anytime you want. Take a few deep breaths. Bringing all these feelings of accomplishment back into this room. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and know that it's already done. And so it is. Amen.